What if I told you the way it has always been done is not the best way? Facing your fears will change your life. The passion behind this journey is merging two separate worlds into one with the goal of creating value and awareness for a better life.
I'd rather be sidelined trying to achieve greatness than watch greatness achieved and it only set on the sideline. Now introducing your host, Jacob Emery.
This episode is brought to you by R&R Pipeline, an infrastructure company. Our purpose? Enhancing America's infrastructure with a safety-driven, integrity-led culture that provides an environment for team members to grow and thrive. There is a unique part of your life whenever you decide that you don't want to be in a certain environment anymore, and you're the underdog. Everybody roots for the underdog. Everybody wants the underdog to excel and overcome this massive obstacle. And when you set your goals out there on a platter and you go after the thing that you want to accomplish, you have people rooting for you that probably don't expect you to actually achieve it, or don't really care if you do, but because it's in interest of them to root for you, and it benefits them to some degree for whatever reason, they are going to support you. And then when you get to a certain point, people no longer support you that used to be all in. So when you actually do the thing and then you accomplish a certain level of success with it, or just a simple level of fulfillment, and then you get so far, and then the reaction to the topic of you doing this thing, the reaction becomes distasteful. And that person that may have been rooting for you before is no longer cheering you on. And it's confusing to see why, but it's happened for multiple people where the underdog story, where you're broke and sleeping on the floor and you don't have anything, but then you make it. And when you make it, the people that were cheering for you before are no longer there rooting for you or in your corner. And a lot of times because it's not a reflection of you, but a reflection of what you've done and what they haven't done. And so when you look at opportunities and you look at taking on these adventures, you got to know who you are, and you got to know who's in your corner, and you got to know the people that are rooting for you probably won't root for you whenever you succeed, and you won't care. It'll be distasteful at first, but eventually you won't care, because they might have been cheering you on, but they didn't help you get it. And because if they had helped you get it, then they would be cheering you on still. Support from outside is impactful until it's not. And the misunderstanding component of support versus criticism versus envy or jealousy, it gets pretty unique and interesting when you have a good relationship with a person, or you know a person well, and you see them do something out of character in a closed setting. That's not out of character. That is probably their character. People show you who they are. Believe them. If someone constantly does something that is some distasteful act to you, or something that you don't agree with, believe that person is probably displaying a genuine act. Not everybody can speak externally about what they believe in and then actually follow through with it. When you're willing to be vulnerable and face the fear and put your true self out there, be authentic, regardless of opinions, that's when you start to feel so in sync with who you are, and you quit caring about opinions. Opinions are only as good as the person giving it. Same as advice. Same as being a cheerleader. So the ones that root you on before, they might love you, they might care for you. They might think they have their best interest in your endeavor for you, but ultimately, majority of the time, it's for them. When people criticize you after being on your team or being in your corner or telling you that you should go for this thing, when it becomes criticism without clarity, then it's uncertain why. And it's hard to navigate through. But just know that it's going to be part of it. You're going to have a certain group of friends today that want to keep you in the same environment because they are not willing to do the thing to get out of it. And when you change, you will get criticized for it. I went through this in my early 20s. A lot of people that I know have went through this or are currently going through this. And then there's this lonely period where you just have to suck it up and do the thing to get to the place you want to go. You have to build a bridge away from that bad place. And you build the bridge by yourself. The bridge is not something that can be built with a team because normally you're building a bridge away from your current team or your previous team, and you haven't built the bridge far enough away to establish your new team. Moral of the story, you have to be willing to go alone to some extent. Mentorship, coaching is all going to be a part of the journey, but you have to understand that there's a point you have to break away on your own, take the lonely road for a while to get away from that bad environment. Because the people that are in that environment that are unwilling to leave that environment are not willing to let you walk away and cheer for you. So know who's in your environment, be aware of your surroundings. And when you see someone do something extremely distasteful that goes against what they speak of as their morals or their intent or values, when they do something that is completely against that, just know that more than likely that person is rooted deep down as that character, not the character that they talk about being. Actions prove who someone is, words just tell you who they want to be. So at the end of the day, when people tell you who they are, you got to believe them.